What's up, strength coaches? Welcome back to another episode of the Cheeky Midweeky, where we are making strength and conditioning not boring anymore. Before today's episode, please hit that subscribe button, and if you rate and review the show, send a screenshot of it to us at service@strengthcoachnetwork.com. We have a free gift that we would love to give to you. In today's episode, I talk with Coach Matt Matua about tactical strength and conditioning and why strength coaches that leave college and leave the team setting, you don't actually know what you're getting yourselves into, and you try and copy and paste what worked in team sport and in that athletic world into tactical strength and conditioning. He even has the saying, we don't need more strength coaches in tactical, we need more tactical strength and conditioning coaches. If you're curious about what this means, this episode is for you. Here at Strength Coach Network, we pride ourselves on giving you the best quality information from strength and conditioning coaches and practitioners that still work with or have worked with athletes. And this is not theory. We are always about giving you practical information that you can apply day one, the minute you're done listening to this. And you can check us out for a $1 trial in the link down below. Click that link and find out more about us. Vacations are meant for you to be outside doing things that you love and reconnecting with your family and your friends and recharging your battery. It is not meant for you to travel and listen to some coach talk in a conference hall and eat some food that you know really isn't the best thing that you want to be eating. Take back your vacations and do so with a Strength Coach Network annual membership. When you purchase an annual membership, you're going to get access to our course, Performance Coaching 101. In the subsequent years, it'll renew and you'll get access to 102 and 103. Each year, you're going to get access to 2 NSCA CEUs and 10 CSCCa CEUs. These CEUs will allow you to be able to learn from the comfort of your office. You'll be able to earn CEUs on your time rather than having to travel. Take back your vacations and be able to do this with a Strength Coach Network annual membership. Click the link down below for more information.
How you been?
I've been good. I saw there was some weather down there in North Carolina. You good?
Yeah, it'd be like it's either I'm like right in the middle where like Asheville got messed up a couple months ago.
Yep.
This past weekend, the coast got hit, but I heard there's some gnarly waves. So thankfully I'm in the middle and like I'm not getting messed up too bad.
Okay, yeah, because I reached out to a couple of my buddies down at Elon University and then a couple friends at UNC too. And I'm like, yeah, y'all are good. Like, what's going on? Like, golly.
Is Nick still over at Elon?
Nick will never go anywhere unless he gets an NFL job, or unless they let go of him. Like if the head football coach gets replaced and then the new head football coach like wants a new guy. And if Nick, like, that would really be the only thing, because he's set up and he loves his life there really well. And Brian Shikuski's over there as well. Cam, I don't know Cam as well, but yeah, like they just have a good setup over there. And then Moses Cabrera, obviously, who I've been close with since 2016. And then Andrew Grabner, who is the head of women's basketball over there.
Oh, wow. Yeah, Nick was when they did like the virtual internship back in 2020.
Yeah.
So what's it called? He was our group over advisor.
Okay.
So it was funny because when the whole Doyle thing went down, because he was over our group, I was just like shooting the shit with him, like chatting to him about like I was like, hey man, what's your thoughts? Da da da. Obviously, I was just an intern. Like you actually knew him more on a better level, et cetera, et cetera. And he was just sharing his feedback on the situation.
I'm sure he did, because he and I talked about it, because we're both in charge of football programs, right? We're both in charge of football programs. I mean, welcome to the Cheeky Midweek, everybody. I told you, we are making strength and conditioning not boring anymore. And boy, oh boy, is racial allegations not boring. I had the same thing. Like Nick and I talked off air. We're like, hey, like, and shout out to Nick for this. And I'm going to sidetrack again. I just reposted a Jake Tura. Jake Tura posted a meme of like a conjugate and a conjugate and like a triphasic guy. Like, oh, we don't agree on things. And then like it's both of their heads facing a GOTA person. And then it's like, we actually agree on a lot of things. And it's like Nick DeMarco and I agree on about 95% of things. And it's like, so he and I were talking back and forth. Like I didn't actually get mad, but I was trying to get him to see the value in adding body weight to a pull-up. He was trying to tell me like, it doesn't matter. Same conversation we had at Iowa. And it's like, who cares? Like, honestly, does it really matter? No, because we agree on so much else. Same thing like when Will Rattel and I were talking the next time when we had like the debate with Mike Wadango as the moderator. And it's like, Will, you got some points about the clean. I should probably bring it back in. I shouldn't have been as extreme saying get rid of it. But you and like, again, Will Rattel and I, in terms of training and life, like there's no need, like he and I are two Christian brothers in life. Like there's no reason for us to be disagreeing when so much of everything that we agree on. So I say all of that Nick and I were talking off air, not off air, but just like, hey, what are you going to do? Like shoot, like literally all the like everything was like when we coached there, right? It's like, but we had nothing to do with it because when you hear all the kids' conversation, it was like, oh, these private conversations. And so, yeah, Nick and I mean, I've gone on record at the Washed Up Walk-Ons podcast, which is an Iowa football podcast. And like, did I see any outwardly racial things? No, he was a dickhead to you. And when they say he was an equal opportunity dickhead, it was, you could be black, white, blue, or Asian, whatever, but it wasn't.
Everybody's gonna get the juice.
No.
Oh no.
If he liked you, you could do almost nothing wrong, right? So that's where it wasn't equal opportunity. If there was some, and it could be something stupid, like you could have like he didn't like people that had like weird hair or beards. When I started to grow a beard, he didn't like that tattoo. But like, so it was the whole. It was just, if you were not like, if he liked you, there was almost nothing you could do to get out of that good grace. But if he disliked you, it was almost as hard to get out of it. So that's where it wasn't the exact equal opportunity. But like and that's where I was like, listen, now I say all that with, there could have been private conversations that I don't know about.
Yeah, fair.
And like, but Nick was, so I say all that again to say that Nick and I were probably really good for each other to have that conversation. And then I had to talk with I guess I didn't have to. I could have hit it under the rug, but I asked the head football coach, I was like, Rob, can I please just address this head on with the team? Like, there's no point trying to hide this. Like, so we had a team meeting and it was actually it was received really like as good as you kind of wanted to.
I got you.
Welcome to the first 5 minutes of the show, everybody. Has nothing to do with tactical strength and conditioning.
No, but it was funny though, because I don't know, being around when I was over there, I was just an intern. I got to preface that with everybody because everyone's like, what do you I was like, dude, I was just an intern, like fighting for my life. So it was funny just because like when I heard like the way they talk from an intern point of view, I was like around my dad. My dad's from Samoa, fresh off the boat. So like the way he would talk with like guys like that generation. So I was like, dude, I feel kind of comfortable in this. I was like, does that mean there's something wrong with me?
No, that's
so
Nick.
Like,
that's kind of it. Like he's never been a big timer. He's never been like, he's been gifted and blessed from above with great physical ability, but he's never like he doesn't rub it in people's face. Like he knows that he's strong. Like, but, and I say all that again to say that when, like I knew that he was like, his goal or whatever was like, he'd just be a teacher. Like he's not like that kind of a, you know what I mean? So that makes a ton of sense. Now at the same time, like you're going to get the smoke if you're not doing your work, you know what I mean? But like you were actually doing your work, you know what I mean? Like, and because it doesn't matter, like it's same thing. Like if you have a good idea as an intern or an assistant, like who really cares? A good idea is a good idea. Now filter it through the prism that you're supposed to. Hey, good idea. Whether I heard it from myself or an assistant, and anybody listening to this, like make sure you try it on yourself first before you try it on the team. Like, oh, I heard this triphasic thing. Like we're just going to abandon ship. And now we're just going to like,
I've never done it, but let's run it. Let's try it.
Yeah, let's run it. This AFSM, like, don't know what acronym means, but Cal said it. We're going to do it. Like, oh, golly. So how'd you get into tactical strength conditioning?
Yeah, man. You want me to give you like a little bit of background on the whole thing?
Oh, I've talked long enough in these first 7 minutes.
No, I can talk story for days. I'm that person. So you guys, my name is Matt Matua. I'm currently here at Fort Bragg in the tactical sector. Been here for three and a half years.
Hey.
Been here for a hot second. So if I have any opportunity to share anything that's value to you guys or anybody
now,
who's
Bragg,
listening.
You're training the airborne, so you're training those that are landing.
So
right?
I'm at Bragg, and I'm actually right down the street from the paratroopers, the 82nd Airborne Division. So those are the guys who jump out of planes. I'm right down the road at 18th Fab, the Field Artillery Brigade. We were like rub shoulders with those guys.
Okay.
But I've been here 3.5 years, and I've been able to see like alongside the guys who are working with those guys, our guys just shoot rockets and stuff like that. And we actually had one of our battalions come back did their time in Germany. I've been here when 2 of the battalions done the rotation. And then before that, I was at Lindenwood University in St.
Hey,
Louis.
yeah.
Yep. Was there for a long time, intern, GA'd, was full time over there, and then did those stops with internships at Mizzou with the football team and with Iowa. And then did a little bit of like USA Rugby for what's it called with during the summer COVID, and then USA Touch Rugby, little stints.
Dude, Lindenwood is kind of like a rugby school, no?
Yes.
Quietly,
So
like it's a U.S. It's listen, we're not competing overseas, but like Lindenwood, like in the States, like hey, you play some rugby, go to
they're a
Lindenwood.
top team. What do you call it? Shout out to Coach Macy over there, the head coach for the men's rugby team. He taught me a lot about just navigating like administration and being able to do that kind of stuff. And then also Billy, who's over the women's, they're national contenders. And then Billy was at the time over the women's, and now
TeamBuildr has been my trusted source for online software programs for my athletes since 2019. Since then, they've continued to grow. They have this new practice integration where practice planning can integrate with the sport coach. You have your sports science, your AMS, the questionnaires. They've continued to evolve and keep giving you the things that you need. It has made my life easier as a strength coach. I want the same for you. You do not need to keep printing on lift cards. Please, printing on lift cards in Excel, you don't need to do that. If you need help being able to purchase it, they have a pre-written grant on their website. They're also part owners in the Plyomat with Coach Rich Burnett. So if you need to get a good device that can accurately and validly and quickly get your jump height and ground contact time, so now you can get RSI. Plyomat's a great choice. We utilize that at Goldfinch. Check TeamBuildr. Check them out in the link down below. Please stop printing on lift cards. It's going to make your life easier. It's going to make your athlete's life easier. It's easier to program on the back end. Check out TeamBuildr in the link down below.
it's Trevor. So yes, they're a rugby powerhouse for the collegiate sector. So and then actually a lot of the guys over here. So when I wore rugby gear over here, a lot of the guys who played for Army rugby, when they see the gear, it's like a great talking point in regards to like, hey, yeah, we play those guys, and yada yada yada.
So you've been in it. You were in college. Now you're going like reflecting back on it. Like how did that navigation process go? Like the whole nine and where you're at now and just where you see this tactical thing going. Because as we record, it's actually tactical strength conditioning week. I get tactical NatCon for national right now.
Something like that. I'm you got me on that one. Yeah, man. I was at Lindenwood. I love the gig. I was working football, rugby, women's volleyball, a lot of the sports like all the other dudes do. Um, was there at 5 a.m. in the morning, and especially with COVID times, I was like 5 a.m. in the morning, work to the afternoon, little break, and then like I was out at like 9 p.m. There was a time during COVID where we had 9 p.m. session lists for women's rugby. Brother, I don't know why we thought that was a good idea. It was just one of those things we were trying to figure it out, like building the plan as we flew it. It sounded like such a good idea at the time, but now being removed from that time, I was like, why did we do that?
How did somebody leave their apartment at 8:30 at night to go train?
Bro, I don't know. I like
Or the fact of like the amount of
it was
cleaning
it's
in
so
the
stupid.
oh my gosh, it was so bad.
And
It
like
was so bad.
at the time, when like you're in it and you're like, no, we gotta do this, like we gotta put the work in, da 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 da. But now that I'm removed from that, I'm like, dude, I'm messing up people's sleep. Um, are they really gonna get anything out of the session at 9 p.m. at night? And then I think the crazy things I was saying was like, oh yeah, like locked in, da da da. And then I like, now that I'm more mature, I'm like, dude, if I was one of those players, I would go back and like slap Coach Matt.
The fact
Like,
that they didn't, right?
I give them props because they were locked in during that 9 p.m. Maybe like I don't know what I was putting in the Kool-Aid, but or even like the coaches, but people were showing up to that. Would I ever do it again? Absolutely not. Like, dude,
No.
just go home and go sleep.
Right?
But yeah,
But I
that's
mean,
that.
yeah, that was back when like, oh my gosh, yeah, the distancing and you can only lift like I mean, I was in the state of Maryland, so that was the worst. Like you can't like they were like, you can lift with your teammate, but not somebody in your position group. I was like, hold on. Offensive linemen, they block together. I can't let them lift together. And they were like, not on the record, but if you do it, we won't say anything to you. Okay.
COVID was a wild time.
Wild ride.
I'm over that
What a
9:30
wild
at
time
night.
to be a strength coach.
9:30 at night, I'm spraying. We had like the sterilizer gun.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was a wild time, man.
Yeah, the same thing that you're supposed to be using to like spray chemical, like your seed or like a disinfectant at like an MMA gym. Like, yeah, no,
Yeah,
I'm spraying that on the equipment. So
yeah.
working with the tactical athlete, like in just that entire mindset and physical demands and like the structure of training, we've dove down at, but continue to explain it for those that are still starting to wonder because, I mean, a former intern of mine, Carson Clark, he just left college and, oh my gosh, I forget her name too, but like the number of coaches that are doing this, it's that slow early adopter. It's still only 20% of coaches, but people are doing it because they see the benefit in it. Let's just dive into it.
Coach, I get like torn back and forth just because I've been part of the exodus that of college coaches who come to tactical. So I've been for being here 3.5 years. I've been able to see them come and go,
Yeah.
right? So can deviate a little bit.
Go.
For any of you college strength coaches who are coming, like I did the college thing for a hot second. I loved it a lot. If you guys end up making the jump to tactical, please have your purpose down
Amen.
of why you
Amen.
come to tactical. And this is why I say this.
Mm.
Having been here for 3.5 years and having done the college gig, I've noticed. So we've had college coaches come and go, and I've noticed these patterns. A lot of the coaches who come over here, they're college performance strength and conditioning coaches in a tactical setting. They're not a tactical strength and conditioning coach. They're someone who they're looking for a job that maybe pays a little better. And like the 4 Ps always gets referenced on strength coach, right? They find a gig that pays a little better. They're off at 2 p.m. so they have a personal life. Progression of the job is slow, but it's there. And then their purpose, the reason they come to tactical, is all messed up. They don't come here to help strengthen. They don't come here to help tactical athletes, soldiers. They come here just because they want to get away from a situation that they were in prior. All right. So I've noticed that in the 3.5 years here, if you really want to thrive, you got to be like, you have to put the soldier first when you get here. The soldier's needs, what they actually do for their gig. Because I've noticed coaches come here and all of a sudden they're like, their identity is lost. All of a sudden they don't, on weekends, they're not on the sideline with their boys, with their teams, and they have a hard time to get off at 2 p.m. I understand that, like, dude, you got 40 hours a week, get out, or they have a hard time, like they have a hard time letting go of the past, and it's a detriment to the soldiers that they serve, the units that they work with, because they're so stuck in the past. Like, oh, when I was at so and so university, this, like, dude, nobody cares. Like, I'm happy that you had a really good foundation in what you did prior. I believe that everything you did prior to this helped build up your foundation in your strength and conditioning coaching. But when you come to the tactical strength and conditioning sector, are you even focusing on the soldier and their needs? And I see that over and over, like,
Ooh.
because we've had guys come, we've had guys go back to college, we've had guys come and they've had maybe like an identity crisis with their strength and conditioning pursuit in life, and it's tough, man. And if you're a college strength and conditioning coach, hell, if you're a CrossFit coach, if you're just a strength and conditioning practitioner, if you're gonna do the tactical sector, yes, the pay may be better than your last gig. Yes, you're going to be able to get off at 2 p.m., but like, actually align your purpose with the purpose of the gig, in which is helping soldiers improve their physical readiness. I know tactical strength and conditioning coaches are going to kill me for that word readiness, just because it gets thrown around so much. But you got to align your purpose with the gig, which is helping the soldiers out, putting the soldiers forward. I've seen it too much where coaches come, they have a hard time letting go of college athletics. And I'm not saying I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but I'm just saying the faster you align your purpose with the actual gig of helping soldiers out, the better you can implement and integrate at the unit.
So that fires me up because that's been something that I've actually said a lot of, like, listen, don't go in here if you're looking just to escape work week and like go knowing that the people you're serving are literally putting their lives on the line for us. Period.
Yes.
And yes, that's first things first. Now, you can still earn a salary and you can live like just like they're putting their lives on the line for us and they're getting a salary. Like, but you have to put the horse before the cart, have the right reason. And you're right. I would say at first, everybody was like, oh, word, I can just do the same thing over there. And it's like, no, first of all, you can't, because your equipment's not the same. The number of coaches that you have working
No.
with you is not the same. You have to almost empower your NCOs to become assistant strength and conditioning coach, for lack of a better term.
Yes.
You don't have the same periodization structure. It's more
No.
of, you don't have LTAD. It's really more of triage and, okay, we can get this. Like, you're almost always in season. Okay, how can we touch on this quality that hasn't been touched in a while? So you have to be a really good master, but you can learn those things through channels like us, obviously, but maybe maybe connected with other coaches or coaches like Costa, who's connected us, where you have to put that first thing first. Hawkin Dynamics is my preferred choice for force plates and for handheld dynamometers. Made in the USA, up in Maine, I have been using them since 2020 when I was at Towson University. Still use them at Goldfinch today, and I've brought the plates to the high school that I've trained at. We will use the plates and transport them when we train athletes at the many different high schools that we currently work at. As I said, they are a handheld dynamometer as well with the True Strength. You can assess athlete internal, external rotation, hip, AB, adduction, calf strength, hip, whatever you want to assess, you can do with the True Strength. It also has the ability to pair with the difference striking machine. So now you can see single strike, multiple strike. Check out Hawkin Dynamics down in the link down below. So just as you, somebody working in it, to say that, it is definitely reassuring to hear it.
Yeah, I just haven't been here for a hot second. I've seen the waves of them, and I just feel like it's a disservice to the guys that they're serving. Like, I've
The
seen
guys
that
and
with
girls, I worked with a ranger at Bragg who was jumping out of airplanes and had tendinopathy, and was like, hey, like, how can I was using TeamBuildr to program remotely, because y'all had TeamBuildr there for a while, and it's like, all right, hey, cool, you know how to use this, but like, how can I dose things with you when you're in ranger school to continue to help you be, like, so it's everybody.
Yeah, and since I've been there, there's a lot of guys, they want the work, like soldiers wise, units wise, they want the work and they need to be guided, but it needs to get broken down right by the strength and conditioning coaches in regards to, like, dudes want work, they want physical training programs, they want to know how they can get better. Um, they want to know how they can get better to work for like a specific goal. We got guys prepping for selection, special forces selection. We got guys prepping for a ranger school, you know. Dudes want the work. We got a combatives tournament coming up in November, and guys, like, they want to be guided, and we just want, I would say, in the tactical sector, you just need to be able to come in and be able to help at the pace is just a little different.
So two questions
So
then.
yes,
One, is there a hard time with the actual X's and O's programming because too many strength and conditioning coaches have been regurgitated a textbook down their hand in terms of this is what strength and conditioning has to look like within the session, and they don't understand how to give athletes, especially tactical athletes, some of the quote unquote suck that they want to feel from CrossFit stuff, which Costa has kind of educated me on. And most NSCA, CSCCa, like, they hate CrossFit, but when done properly, you can borrow some of the principles, just like you can borrow from sprinting and powerlifting and Olympic, like you go down the strongman and whatever. So that's first rabbit hole of the actual X's and O's. Second of all, is it because it's harder for them to form relationships because maybe, from what I've heard, you don't have to actually train with you. They choose to train with you versus being forced to have to do it in the college world where they don't have to learn how to create buy-in. They're just like, oh,
yeah,
well, because I said so and the coach said you have to do it. They've literally lost, like, this is going to be the weirdest analogy ever. It's like the hot girl that doesn't know how to talk to anybody because people just talk to her because she's hot. She has no personality.
no,
Is that
no,
what these strength coaches are being?
yes, I'm picking up what you're putting down with that analogy.
And
I'm gonna
please, all
address
tactical strength coaches, forgive me for my ignorance. I am just doing my best to try to educate the masses.
No, you're good. I'm gonna address the second question really quick. So I'll say this from my experiences is a lot of the strength coaches when they come here, they don't have any soft skills, right? So that's the main part that they lack. They got the X's and O's. They know how to they know how to periodize, make programs, macrocycles, microcycles, all that stuff. What they don't have is they don't have any soft skills. They don't know how to talk to people who don't want something that they have, even though it might be really good, it might benefit them, but they don't know how to, like, I hate saying this word. They don't know how to sell, you know, or they don't know how to just sit down with the guys, go meet command teams with a unit leadership, and just be able to like shoot. Can I cuss?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Okay, I don't want to go crazy with it,
No, you're good.
but they don't know how to like just sit down and just shoot the shit with the guys.
Yeah.
Some of the units that I've been able to, some of the best units that I've had great relationships with, like there are times we've done field exercises. We're sitting in the back of my car, eating donuts, drinking coffee, watching rockets getting shot out, by HIMARS.
Oh
Like it's a
my
good
gosh.
time. Like guys just want to. It's that cliche where like people don't know how much you care. They just want they want to know, or they don't care how much you know. They want to know how much you care, right? And I'm just while these guys are out there for 2 weeks, they're maybe like what's it called? They haven't showered in a week, and I'm out there just bringing coffee and donuts, and we're just shooting the shit, just seeing what they're doing, kicking back with the boys. And even with a lot of the guys, like, okay, if you want to find success, you have to be willing to suffer. And I don't mean like literally suffer. I mean like they just want to know that you're down, right? So a lot of times, I'm a big advocate on doing combatives. And I love taking the soldiers to do jujitsu, Muay Thai. I get my ass kicked all the time, but that's part of it. They just want to know that you're down. They want to know that you're vulnerable enough to,
Yep.
like, you're gonna ask these guys to do a program, and they're gonna expose themselves to you in regards to like their training capabilities. The least you can do is like reciprocate that.
Yep.
And if you're a strength and conditioning practitioner in a tactical setting, like be vulnerable enough. Like we know the guys when it comes to like they'll lift but they won't go run, and then you ask them to run, and now they're like, okay, I don't want to go run. Like why? Well, I think it's done. Like, dude, your pride right now is preventing you from like forming a real relationship with your dudes. Like we know you can squat 600 pounds, but you don't want to go do a 2 mile run with the boys. Like, come on, man. Like just be transparent. Like if they just want to know you're down, they want to know that you're willing to bleed a little bit, and that.
I
And
couldn't agree
then,
with you. Oh, sorry. Keep going.
oh no, and then even going back to the first point, like the second point is just soft skills and relationships, being able to form relationships. The first one, they got the X's and O's, but like you said, like you come to the tactical sector for the most part. A lot of guys do not have good equipment, and just being able to, a lot of guys will come here, they're doing triphasic at their respective colleges, and all of a sudden they're like, oh, I can't do triphasic with the guys over here. Like, dude, scrap that. We know you got the education, but the skill you're lacking right now is adaptability. Like, you got this metal box with 2 squat racks and these rusty weights. Like, keep the main thing. Get these guys better physically, but you might have to put the triphasic on the side or the power cleans on the side, because this guy over here has been jumping out of planes for months and his knee is all messed up and his lower back's all messed up. Like, you got to be able to adjust that a little bit. And once you be able to do that, like, you'll have people. So,
Amen.
yeah.
Well, and so you talked about like going and be like, what you said was going to practice, but it's a different, like, instead of, the sport coach or strength coach going and watching cross country go and run, which might be boring, or watching the baseball practice or football or basketball, you're going out and you're in the field with doing what they're doing, watching them do what they do. And to that, I saw Carson posted a video of it. Like, he went out to the range and they were like, hey, you want to go shoot? And he's posted a video of him just laying on the ground, just firing off rounds. And it's like, that's your spending time building that relationship. Like,
Yes.
technically, you're like, that's what you need to be doing.
Yes, absolutely. The principles always remain the same, right? Regardless of sector. The principles always remain the same. Be present. When it comes to training, just get them stronger and stuff like that. But like, when I see college coaches come over here, they just have a hard time with, like, they're too used to the methods and not actually implementing the principles. What's the principle? Dude, go spend time with the boys.
That's it.
That's all it is. You're just sharing FaceTime. You're seeing what they're doing, etc. It's like going to practice. Practice it's not the best thing all the time. Like, their game days when they go get deployed for the most part, right?
Correct.
Or if they're prepared for a selection.
Yep.
That's their game day. But the practice is boring field exercises. Their practice for a tactical athlete, going to the ranges, doing stuff like that. Maybe it's being at the motor pool and cranking, like if they're mechanics, cranking, fixing things at the motor pool all day. Like, dude, go spend time with the boys. It's easy. That's all it is. But it's just that message gets lost in the sauce all the time.
I would say the same thing needs to be said for where, like, if you're working in high school or college or whatever it is, right? Like,
Yeah.
so if you're listening to this and you're like, I'm not going to go tactical after hearing it, then go spend time with the boys wherever you're working now, because that's where you get the buy-in. Powerlift has been my choice for strength and conditioning equipment ever since I got into the field. Right now, I still have their racks, I have their barbells, I have their bumpers, specialty bars, and we have the IMTP device at Goldfinch, and it's been great for us because it's allowed us to free up the rack where we used to have to do the IMTPs. Now we use that IMTP device, roll it around, we've created more space. You have to check them out. Doesn't matter if in your college, high school, pro, tactical, or private, they have the ability to make whatever customizations and whatever adjustments you need. I was a part of the weight room that was the 32 brand new rack facility at Iowa football. You see what they did for TCU football. Doesn't matter how big, how small, whatever your customizations are, Powerlift is number one in the exercise equipment space for a reason. Check them out in the link down below. I will never, the story that I tell, the personal story, was women's cross country 2012, maybe 13, doesn't really matter. I was at College Park working with the men's and women's cross country team. The girls were having a time trial. We were playing Clemson at night, and my dad was in town, and I was like, they were like, oh, we have a time trial practice on Saturday. Cool. I was like, I'll be there. They didn't believe me. They're like, no shot. I showed up with my dad, and they were like, oh my gosh, you showed up. I'm like, yeah, like practice, like games not till later. I had some free time. Like, why? Like relationship building. Why wouldn't I? From there on out, because I was always like, I was getting pushed back. Like, why haven't we squatted yet? We're goblet squatting. Like, I was taking them through a teaching progression. Any of those like pushbacks, it was like, nah, like we trust coach. Coach gets us. And I spent 1 hour, and now you continue to nurture that relationship. But, and again, I'm not saying that like, oh, look, I'm the greatest. No, spend time. Like, this is my testimony of I did it. I had better athlete buy-in because of it. Please do the same thing.
Yes.
And why wouldn't you want to go be where they're shooting off rifles and you could potentially shoot rifles with them? And you could go do kickboxing and jujitsu with them. Like, what?
There was one night we got to go watch Castrovac and Medevac. So the helicopter, they're like, we're out on the field. This is like midnight. So we're out there. And
way better than lifting at Lindenwood at 9.
Dude. If any of those rugby guys are listening to that, man, I apologize. I appreciate the fact that you did it, maybe begrudgingly, but I apologize for my ignorance.
Midnight helicopter.
Yeah, there's one night. It was midnight, and we're out there. We're chilling with the guys, watching them do their thing. They're giving us their nods so we can see the helicopter come in, because it's midnight. You're on the field. There's no lights, right? So they're like, "Hey, yo, check out here's my nods. Check it out." So we're watching it. Watching the helicopter come down, et cetera, et cetera. And then one of the staff members, their spouse was a strength and conditioning coach. We're like, "Hey, where's da 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 da?" And they shared with us like, oh, or they don't want to be there or stuff like that. And I'm just like you miss the whole point when you don't do that stuff. Like when you're out here and you're literally seeing them during their practice, you understand that like the stresses that they're experiencing at 2:00 in the morning, or why they all of a sudden something went a little longer and they had, instead of getting done at 2:00, they wrapped up at 4:00, and then like now you can see why you need to adjust the plan accordingly. Like don't be stuck to 6:30 to 8:00 in the morning. Like, so it blows my mind. I'm just like, dude, like why are we so stuck to the 6:30 to 8:00 block? Like these guys have jobs, right? Like these guys are like, they're out here in the field. Like the situation isn't, the scenario is not the best. Like in regards to what they got going on, these guys are stressed out. They're popping Zyn pouches and energy drinks for days. Some of them haven't slept for days. Like they're a little messed up, man. Like, and you're a little like, you're not moldable, or like you're a little offended because they didn't do this. They didn't stick to the plan. So if you're in, just go spend time with the guys and go see what they got going on, because it'll definitely help. It'll tell you what your priorities are, what they should be at least.
I have two things. I'm going to say both my thoughts, and then I'll let you unpack whichever one we want to go down first. First of all, is within the messed up world, talking with a strength coach that's worked in tactical for a while, who just like you, when he speaks about tactical, like there's certain people where I'm like, they talk about it like I'm listen, like you listen. And he was talking about like, one time one of his people he was, going to work with came in and like looked off, and he's like, "Hey, what's up?" He's like, "Oh, my wife just left me for the medic that lives next door because he doesn't deploy as much and she can spend more time with him than me." And he's like, he hugged him and is like, "We're going for a walk for today's training." Or like, he goes, that type of conversation happens more than like the other things. Or like, there's
Yes.
this weak guy who's trying to go and do like essentially, like you said, selection training. He's like, "When's the last time you've trap bar deadlift?" "Haven't." Let's see how much you can do." He's like, "Could do like 185. He's like, "Wow, this is going to be hard, but we're going to do this together." Like, so he's saying that those are a lot of the conversations that you have to be willing to have, lower the ego, stop being so default aggressive, which I can be guilty of myself. Then the second area that I wanted to go down that you had teed up was like explaining what their job is and explaining the life of the tactical athlete, the tactical human, and what all entails. So then again, the reverse engineering mind of all of us, especially we all have the dial of autism, and my autism dial gets up and down. And so like my
I'm
autistic
guilty
brain of
too.
like reverse engineering things. So it's like, explain their job, explain the brokenness of it all, and how you and we can make it better.
Yeah, so I'll speak in a general term across the board, just so we don't, because individual jobs are gonna be a little bit different.
Yeah.
So what I've noticed since being here is, so the job itself, depending on the unit that you're working with, so you're gonna have like firing units or like the line units where they're like for at least here at 18th Fab, where they're shooting off rockets, right? And when they go do field exercises, maybe that's 2 weeks where they're just out in the field and they're prepping for deployment. It's going to be, depending on whatever unit you're working with, it might be the amount of hours that they're on their feet just working is going to vary. So some long, some short. Whereas if you have like S shop dudes where it's kind of like administration, it's not going to require that much labor work. But for the most part, all the jobs require, it's going to be like weird hours, and lots of times guys will be like tasked out at physical training times. So because if they're not in the field, if they're back at the footprint or a battalion, there are no more workspaces, right? Lots of guys that might be tasked out during training times, so physical training times, and a lot of strength coaches, they'll get messed up because they don't know how to adapt. They don't know how to adapt physical training programs to dudes who are inconsistent with their routine or with the training. And because they get messed up, they don't know how to adapt to that. They don't know how to create programs or like where that's adaptable to people's schedules. Then they get frustrated, right? Their job is their main priority, and if it's inconsistent, it's going to be inconsistent in regards to like their training schedule, the work schedule, the stresses that they have. And it's funny that you said about like the medic, like the affair, right? I've had those conversations, like, and that's the one thing about working in amongst the soldier population is like that's some real shit.
Yeah.
Like that stuff happens.
Yeah.
And you think they want to talk about training at a time and stuff like that?
Or do they want to get pushback as to why they don't want to train? Vitruve has been my choice for VBT for years now, not only because of the encoder and how well it works with the app, and you can film movements with the camera and get live variable feedback in real time if you so choose to on the app, but the fact of the amount of content they have been pushing out to help coaches better understand VBT. It's not only just to move the bar faster. You can be working on what's the appropriate load for high rep sets based off velocity loss. You can be looking at velocity loss threshold between sets, in between reps. VBT is not just moving the bar fast. It's moving the bar fast with heavy weights. It's not just moving lightweight fast. And Vitruve has been at the forefront educating coaches on VBT and how to do it the right way. Check them out in the link down below. Like, they're like, I'm still alive right now. Like, do you know the amount of stress that I have to physically deal with for my job? And then this happens at my house.
Yes. And then on top of that, a place where strength coaches can contribute that is because you're a civilian contractor, you can be an ear for someone, especially in a time like that. And I think that gets missed a lot with a lot of strength and conditioning coaches. It's like, dude, you're a civilian contractor. These guys can open up to you about a lot of stuff that maybe they don't feel comfortable speaking with, like maybe their NCOs or their unit leadership. Like, go be an ear, and this is a prime opportunity for you to like form a relationship, because NCOs, junior enlisted officers, I've been able to speak with a lot of guys, like the varying ranks, and they've just been able to talk to me about stuff. Like, there's a time where I spoke with the first sergeant who he played college football at SMU, and then we had a work meeting, and then ended up watching like Texas football highlights in his office for an hour and a half, and he was like, "Hey, what were we doing in here?" I go, "First sergeant." I don't even remember. And he was like, but we had a great relationship. I had a great relationship with him, the unit, and I'm gonna be honest, I can't remember what the original question was, just because I like.
It was about, we were talking about like the brokenness, that those conversations and the reality,
Oh
and then
yeah,
like what their real job is.
So the real job's gonna be, the time's gonna be off. It's brokenness and routine. Soldiers are gonna be asked to task out to be doing things dependent, and then you got to remember, like, the higher ranking someone is, the more, yes, they're a soldier, but the more it's like they're a coach, where they're gonna have like their time demands are gonna be different. They're gonna be asked to different. They're gonna have to, in their words, like feel like they're babysitting people. So although they're a soldier, but they're also managing people, right? So as a strength and conditioning coach, maybe someone doesn't need training that day. You can just go talk to them as a person and just check in with them, how they're doing, managing their little group of their soldiers, right? Their unit, their battalion, their platoons. So it depends on varying, like, it's not just one thing across the board. It's going to be very individual to platoons, to units. Every single unit is in a battalion, in a brigade, is going to have a different culture, right? Every single command, so it's all like little sports teams.
Yep.
And every single command leadership is going to be like your own respective sport coach, right? Yeah, you might have a command team who maybe the captain just came back from Ranger School, and they love marathons. Like, we've had sport coaches like that, where, oh yeah, I did this one test, this one fitness assessment test at this one school, and you know what, we need to do it too. It's like, well, why? It's like, well, it made us tough. It's like, it'll make them tough. Or I saw Tim Tebow do this. This is not a dig with Tim Tebow.
Yeah, no.
I saw Tim Tebow do this on YouTube. We need to do this too. Like, well, why? Well, it's good enough for him. It's good enough for our guys. It's the same principle in the tactical sector.
Okay. So with that being said, and this is something that I've had conversations with tactical folks and on air and off air, how do you, again, I'm pausing because I'm trying to use the best word. How do you as a coach push back, talk to coaches that say those things, especially if they've done them and have come back from combat safe and their troops have come back? Because it's one thing to talk to a sport coach like, oh, coach, this training is stupid. Not stupid. This training isn't the optimal for the team and whatever things we could do. Mental toughness training. Yeah, well, we won a league championship 4 years ago, 5 years ago. Totally different to be like, yeah, you did, but you haven't done anything in 4 years, versus, yeah, you're right. The last time you went to war, your whole team came back.
Yeah.
Like, you can say way less to that conversation versus we won a championship 4 years ago and when NIL and all the different things, like, that just seems like a whole different can of worms.
Yeah. I'll say this from the experiences I've had. So thankfully, I've been in different units over here just because of like turnover and leadership, because people come and go, right? So what I've learned is, if someone comes to me and tells me like, hey, I want to do this, I'm not going to have the same reference point that they had. So they're saying it from a place of like, from experience, right? So I need to listen to the person.
Yeah.
What I've noticed that in the past, where if I don't agree on something of why people should be doing something. So for example, over here, there's a lot of Army, you can have long distance running, endurance running, et cetera, et cetera. Some people, they're so used, they lived in the Army where it's like 5 days a week we're running. Weights, what are that? We didn't use weights back in the day, et cetera, et cetera. And all I've had to do,
undefeated in World Wars, so why would we?
Like, yo, you think the guy stretched before they hit Omaha? Like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. But
touche.
I'm like, I mean, you ain't wrong.
I got shit too. Yeah. I got shit for you, brother.
Yeah. So I've learned to just listen, because when people say stuff, they have the reference point that I'm probably not going to understand where they're coming from, and I just learned to like contribute in appropriate ways. So why do you say that? I've had guys who are like, oh well, I want to do a CrossFit style. I go, okay, why? And when they share with me, it's just because of the way they feel, right? They don't know any science, they don't know any programming behind it. They just know that when they went and did that, they felt the same way. They felt really good when they left it, right? It's all about how they felt. And also, I gotta break it down for them. I'm like, some of the NCOs I've worked with, I'm like, sorry, look at your guys, okay? Who do you think could survive that workout? They'll tell me, and depending on the unit, it maybe be like 30% less, 20% less, 50% less. I'm like, okay, I'm not saying don't do the workout. I'm saying this. You see that guy? Like 50%, those guys are going to get injured. They're going to be at our reforge group, or like rehab group, and they're going to be there for like 8 weeks, coming back. I'm I'm not telling you not to do the cool stuff, and this has been talking to the NCO. We want to do the cool stuff. However, in order to get to that point, this is what we need to do to get to that point. And it's just being able to identify gaps in like the gap between where they're at and where they want to be. That is where the strength coach can contribute, especially their expertise. Because a lot of the NCOs, they see the cool stuff. They want to do the cool stuff. They want to climb ropes. They want to, if some guy's getting ready for selection prep, then all of a sudden the whole platoon's getting ready for selection prep, right? It's like, brother, some of these guys sit behind a computer all day. Like, not everyone's running and gunning, and not everyone's doing that. But like, I understand that, because you're into that kind of stuff. You think everybody wants to do it. Or that one NCO, he's like, dude, I'm a power lifter. Everyone's gonna power lift. It's like, sorry, not everybody needs to power lift, man. I see where you're coming from. Let's just adjust your expectations, so that way people can get, you like to power lift because you want to get stronger, and it makes you feel good, right? This guy can barely squat 135. Let's take the principles, apply it with this guy, so that way, yeah, you're still gonna get good working, but this guy's gonna get working. It's not gonna look the same like you though, but he's still gonna get the same work in using those same principles. Yeah. So it's forming relationships and identifying principles. It's all the same at the end of the day. Everyone just wants to get bigger, faster, stronger, even the soldier population. That's all it is. And people just want to do cool shit. I don't blame them.
Who doesn't?
Who doesn't want to do cool shit?
Who doesn't?
Everybody wants to do it. And just bridging the gap is where strength and conditioning coaches can come in and contribute, especially in the tactical sector.
Especially if you have the right prism of perspective on how, like, and if but this goes back to what we talked about before. Dasher has completely changed the game for how I'm able to time my athletes, whether I'm doing ACL, max velo, or curvilinear running. Had the blues, had the blacks at Goldfinch. Now that I have the silvers, this has saved me so much time in setup, breakdown, if I'm going from Ankeny to Huxley, or from Ankeny to the Nevada location, or Nevada to Huxley, like wherever I got to go time athletes, it has made my ability to go from one place to another so much easier with the silvers. Strength coaches that have to go from one field to the other, or from the field to the court, this will help you save time. Now, in the spirit of saving time, you also have the ability to have an API interaction with TeamBuildr, so now you can see all the data on the back end. Seeing data on the back end, Dasher has a free app, a player profile app, that will allow athletes to see their data. Over 6,000 coaches and athletes have done so. And if you want more than just the timing gates, if you check them out in the link down below, they have solutions to help you out with vertical jump, broad jump, RSI, all that. Check them out in the link down below. You need to be doing cool shit yourself. You should be doing jujitsu. Like, I don't know why you wouldn't want to. Like, you should do, like, but it shouldn't be only those things. Like, you should still kind of maybe play some basketball, shoot some hoops, be able to hit a baseball, like hit the links, like be a person. You know what I mean? Like, not just a robot, which goes back to, there was a highly touted strength coach that went from college to professional, and in his like initial press conference, he's like, I will be the same person every single day. I will never. And I was like, I got a ton of pushback, because I was like, I mean, this is stupid, because what if his family's doing what if his kid's got a game? Hey, I'm going to get at, like, there's so, like, yes, I'm not going to piss and moan at work and not get my job done. Correct. But to be like, because that's a ditch to fall in where it's like, oh, my life is terrible. No, that's a ditch. You're not doing your job. It's work. But at the same time, the other ditch is like, I am the same no matter what. My wife just left me for an NCO and I don't care. It's like, bro, like those are both ditches that you can fall in. And I said that, and people were like, you're attacking him. That's not. I was like, no, I'm not. I gave you my opinion. I shared a text message where somebody asked me my thoughts, and I thought that everybody could benefit from it. Sorry. But it turns out that then some people in that same professional organization have texted me like, hey, you were right about that. So
yeah, if you're in the tactical sector, I would say yes, do something cool in your own training. And I've seen that where like at least some strength coaches, like if you want to stand out, find a niche in the tactical sector, which like you are the niche kind of thing. Like for example, I enjoy doing combatives. I'm not good at it. I get my ass kicked all the time, right?
Just got mine kicked this morning at 5 a.m.
Dude, love it. I love that. What do you call it? So I took our brigade, our combatives team to the 18th Airborne Corps combatives tournament last year, right? We did good for our own being, but for the most part, our team got ran under the table, right? But it was a lot of guys' first exposures. All of a sudden this year, I got soldiers coming up to me like, "Hey, you're the combatives guy?" I'm like, "Whoa, guy." Just so we're on the same page, like I take the guys down there. I'll take them to the fight house and the fighters union, but like just so like skill level, but like, yeah, what's up? You know, all of a sudden I'm the combatives guy around the brigade. Or like I share this with you. Any of you guys who are doing tactical, like find something to own, because a lot of guys when they come to the tactical sector, right? If you're a strength and conditioning coach, when you're in college, you owned your training session. That was you, right? All of a sudden you come to tactical sector, you don't own the training session anymore. You have to work through an NCO who sometimes that's not their main thing. So all of a sudden people they're all messed up because they're like, okay, you took away the one thing that I owned prior that I was really good at. And all of a sudden I got to give to someone else who maybe it's not their main thing. When you come to the tactical sector, find something to own. Like for us, I do a Ranger Physical Assessment 2.0 monthly. Like, I don't know why the units don't do it. Maybe they just don't get around to it. But we've had about like 5 iterations of it. Dudes come, they get smoked, and they love it. And all of a sudden, I got guys from Germany who just got back. They saw our boys running it, who were getting smoked, and they're like, "Hey, we want a piece of that."
Who doesn't like a little suck sesh where you can just try to prove that you can just drop it and go? You know what I mean? Come on.
The science-driven dudes.
But like you can scientifically driven do some hard shit.
You get that. I get that. Not everybody gets that.
Well, that's why they're listening to us right now.
You know what I'm saying? And then like, dude, if you're a tactical, like find something to own that make yours. Yeah. And then so like, I don't know when this is going to air, but then the CrossFit service, the service cup, the service games is coming up for the 15th to the 22nd.
Hold on, what is this?
The CrossFit service games.
Is it for people that are in the service that do CrossFit?
So all of the services, fire, law enforcement, military, right? So they do this thing where from the 15th to the 22nd, they're going to push out 4 workouts, and it's going to be a hero workout.
In September?
In September. This is a great bonding point to reference for your dudes, because like I hate it when, I'm sorry, man.
What are you sorry for? That's for sorry is a word for what people say when they do something wrong.
When dudes are like, "Oh yeah, the Murph, da 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 da," or like the science behind it, I'm like, I get where you're coming from.
Love it. Have done it the last 2 years. Can't wait to do it next year.
I'm just like, I get where you guys are coming from, but who cares? Just do the workout. Oh, the pull-ups. They're not full extension. I'm just like,
shut up.
I get where you're coming from, but go play with the boys, man. Right? Like CrossFit, I'm not gonna talk about CrossFit, but like the hero games, the service cup coming up is a great opportunity for guys to go bleed with the boys. It's gonna be 4 workouts. You're gonna push it out. I registered. Okay. I like to Olympic weightlift and I like to grapple.
Yeah,
I don't like to run. But you know what? I'm doing it because it's an opportunity to throw it out with the boys.
bro. I
So
didn't know it now. This military centric competition, that's got to be what got there was something on. So I work at a sports performance gym, but it's a CrossFit gym and a sports performance side where the CrossFit typically, like right now, we have some athletes that'll wake up and train before school, but mainly we have adults that will. And then after school and after work, we have the CrossFit and the sports performance overlap. But in the middle of the day, most kids are in school except for our homeschooled kids, which are the exception. We can train moms and dads that are staying at home and right after drop off at school, and then lunch break for anybody. So I'm saying all of this to say I that's the gym that I train at, but I had no idea this service. That makes sense because I saw one of the
yes,
announcements on the whiteboard September 15th that there was something. I was like, I have no idea what this is.
yes.
Top performers
I
will
want to
advance to
plug
the
that in just for
in-person game.
guys.
Shit,
Yeah,
this
I
is
want to.
amazing.
Yeah, I want to plug it in so that way. I want strength and conditioning coaches in the tactical sector to have a bonding point because it's a week of suck, and I think it's a great opportunity to build bonds with your units.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna move this to the front. Like, I'll email our production team and send it to JJ to move this to the top of the list, so that way, like, it comes out before. I had no idea. That is but like the suck. And have you ever done?
That's
Here's
the
an
whole
instant
point
way.
of it.
The bonding. Have you done the partner wads,
Yes, and I've done it with coworkers, and I've died, and
bro?
that's the whole
It's
point of it.
bro. So Saturdays is the partner um, training day, right? And you and a part and like again, and that's what I talked about before. And we have a blog coming out eventually here. I've been brewing on it where it's CrossFit is the best thing that you're not doing with your athletes, and it's total clickbait. But as you read through it, it'll be like it to get your attention. You'll click it like he's an idiot, and then you'll read it and be like, no, he's actually not. Tyler Franklin, who's a high school strength and conditioning coach, has talked about it. Where if you apply the principles, you can get a lot of good things out of it. Um, but as I said, like, okay, so the CrossFit partner workout that I just did 2-3 days ago on Saturday started off with 1,000-meter row that you and your partner do while, like, so if you're rowing, I'm holding kettlebell front rack. Okay. Say you go for 500, I hold during your 500, I put it down, you row 500, and I row, we flip, right?
Yeah.
We complete that. Then we go to 60 reps of deadlift. Break it up however you want. Me and the partner that I worked with she is the closest thing. I think she's a CrossFit Games athlete. She's incredibly strong. She's so good that she did the comp weight, not the RX weight. So she's deadlifting. I'm holding a front plank. She does 10. I go hold a front plank. She done. I deadlift. She's holding a plank. We do 60 of those. This was the worst one. Handstand hold while your partner's doing a wall walk. Fucking vomit. Fucking vomit. Like, it was awful. And like she carried us. She was doing reps of 5. I was like, Maddie, I can only get 3s. But like, bro, if it was by myself, I would have done singles. But I'm like, she's literally fucking holding an upside down push-up. I better not be a bitch. Like, go do the thing, right? So that was that. Then it was burpee bar muscle up. I can't do I literally don't know the technique of a muscle up yet. So I just did burpee chest to bar pull up. And so we just did singles. That was not like you do this. It was just 20 reps, get them done. Then you end with the row. I'm saying all of this to say, take your brain, strength coaches, regress it how you want with the equipment you have, do some suck like that. Maybe not the first week your athletes are back, your third week, fourth week back, build up their acute and chronic workload ratio, and then throw some suck in there to see who can respond.
Yes, I agree.
Like, it's
simple,
so
man.
good.
It's simple and just a little overcomplicated for some dudes.
But like, and when you can boil it down to things like this, like the number of times I said this too, and it was right around the time that SpaceX was landing all their rockets and they're recatching them in the, like, what? Like, or when the Elon and SpaceX went up and, was able to bring the astronauts home. I'm like, coaches, we're not catching skyscrapers from the fucking air in chopsticks, and we're not rescuing people from the moon. Can we please stop acting like our job? Like, come on, please. So
Yeah.
that's my 2 cents. I feel like that's a good place to wrap it up, because I think we literally could talk to each other all day. I appreciate you. Like I said, I'm gonna push this thing out so we can get out before these CrossFit games. And I mean, I'm leading a CrossFit class tomorrow, so I'll make sure I get signed up for the games in the WAD that week.
Yeah, man. I appreciate your time.
Oh man, it was a blast. Thanks for watching that video. If you enjoyed it, click right here for videos just like that, and make sure you click here to subscribe to our channel. Have a great rest of your day.